Hi. I did technology.
Both of us are like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, this looks different. There's my hand out of the way. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Gabi, I'm gonna let you do all kinds of things and introduce yourself, etc. But I've never asked you in our phone calls. I'm asking now, this is like the first question and very strange, but not strange coming from me, right? Do you have a spiritual practice?
Say that again? I didn't even catch it.
Oh, I have a spirituality practice.
A spiritual what practice? Like just
spiritual
anything? I do.
Okay.
Not organized religion or anything like that, but I started practicing yoga after the very first time that I went through Lyme treatment, and I was like 30 pounds lighter than I am now, which is insane and very atrophied. So that is not just poses, and I'm like one of the first people to talk about how yoga is not just asana. There's 7 other limbs that people forget about. So yeah, that's my spirituality practice.
Yeah, well, I feel like you and I could talk about yoga for a while, actually, because it's like the thing that always brings me back to myself. But I've been not doing yoga, right? I've been not doing yoga, but I'm always in my my tarot decks now, and apparently on January 4th, because I went back and looked at it, I decided like I want to be the kind of person.
No, it froze. You froze for a second. Welcome to technology, right?
Anyways, I was like, I want to be the kind of person that finishes a journal. So I've been like pulling more and more and journaling about it. And I want you to know I pulled the card for our call, and it gave me the 3 parts. It was just like, oh my gosh, it's a party. It's love. It's good things.
Oh, I love it. Well, you're the best, Kholi. So just so all of y'all know, when Kholi first contacted me, I was just in, like I had just gotten in a car accident. My husband and I were like rear-ended at 60 miles an hour, and I ended up with a concussion and so I was just like a mess when I first talked to Kholi on the phone, and she was so sweet about it. So I knew right away, it wasn't just like, oh, I hope you feel better. It was like genuine. So that's how I knew you were going to be just a wonderful human to work with.
Yeah, and I feel like and we can talk about this more like now that we're actually getting into the call, but I feel like we've had a moment to at least like let some friendship blossom around this, as opposed to just being like, hey, I really want your I really want your product. I really want to tell my people about them. I will let us just jump in. I love to just let people introduce themselves. And like I'm constantly talking about you and tagging you. But can you tell us in your own words, who you are and also what Bright Body is?
Yeah. So I'm Gabi Day, and I am many things. That's a hard question to answer. Who am I? In the context of this, I am the owner and creator of Bright Body. I'm also like a yogi and a sister and a wife, but not a sister wife, and a dog mom. So lots of things. And Bright Body is my little business baby, and it is a line of handcrafted, all natural, zero waste beauty products. So it all started when I have multiple chronic illnesses, and I've had them for almost 12 years. One of them I've had my whole life, but I didn't know it was genetic. I didn't know until later in life. But the worst of it has really been since I was 18, and I turned 30 in April. So it's been a minute. And when I was really, really sick for like the 3rd time, then I had my 3rd round of IV treatments and was totally disabled, totally different human being. I thought, okay, if I care about what I eat, then I should care about what I am putting on my body. So I just looked at my labels and looked them up on the Environmental Working Group database and did not like what I was using. So I just thought, oh, I'll just find a brand that only uses Environmental Working Group safest rated ingredients. And I thought that would be relatively easy to find. And I could not find it. So I just said, well, I'm going to do it myself.
Okay.
That is literally what happened. And so it started with teaching myself cosmetic chemistry. So in the very beginning, when I was still really disabled and in a lot of chronic pain, I couldn't be like standing in the kitchen and formulating just yet. So I literally read scientific articles and in like scientific journals and did lots of ingredient research and went down that rabbit hole kind of just brain wise. And then as I physically started getting better and feeling better, I started tinkering around in the kitchen and using different raw materials and learning all about emulsifying and pH balancing and proper preservation. And then, yeah.
I'm only gonna pause you there because you mentioned, I feel like for those of us who like aren't even thinking about all of the scientific things that you're about to take us into, so I pulled up like one of my favorite products is the oat and aloe curly hair cleanser, right? And I'm looking at the ingredients on this, which I loved when they came in, but literally the ingredients: oat water, distilled water, organic gluten-free old-fashioned oats. There's only one thing that I can't pronounce. There's organic lemon juice for pH balance. There's aloe vera gel. There's organic aloe vera flour. There's like all these essential oils, and everything else is like stuff that we've either seen like in our kitchen or in the cabinet. And you've already explained to us that like you felt like if we cared about what we should be eating, we should be caring about what we put in our skin. But like, how did you get into like a knowing of that for certain?
So a lot of people ask me like, did you cure your Lyme disease with?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not, calm down. That's not how this works. Okay. However, I do believe in like giving my immune system as much of a break as possible. And so that's really where that came from. And just knowing how to do it, like, honestly, I'm just a relentless nerd. That's kind of the learned. I come from a long line, like my whole family is a bunch of nerds. And so I think that's just part of my DNA is I love learning and teaching myself new things. So that's how it happened. But yeah, I mean, it took a long time. Some products took more than 20 or 25 iterations until I was happy with them.
Yeah. I feel like that sounds like more work than I would ever commit to. But can I tell you, I don't even know if I mentioned that when we first started talking. So I found you because I don't know if it was like right before or right after I started working for Whole30, but part of doing Whole30, right, for me at least, is always about like my chronic pain, always. And so in thinking through like something's happening with my body all over, and it has nothing to do with like how healthy I think I'm eating. I was just like, I'm gonna try this thing. I'm gonna search for somebody else who like is already knowing all of these things. And I came upon your website, and it was just like, here's literally every single ingredient that you can think about. Here's my full process. I had all these chronic illnesses, and here are the ways in which I'm like teaching myself how to actively heal myself. And I was like, I'm sold on that. So I know I interrupted your process there, but I have some more understanding around how you started thinking about that. And if you want to take us through these 25 iterations of anything. No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's part of the biggest part of getting better from when I was sick was asking myself how I'm contributing to my own suffering. And that's like a physical thing, eating habits, but it's also much more spiritual. So like, how am I screwing myself over with bad habits in terms of thought and action and not giving myself a break, still needing to do better at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bright Body was a part of my healing because it gave me something that I was really excited about and really interested in and just very intellectually stimulated, even though I was in like excruciating pain and couldn't had horrible fatigue and couldn't really do much of anything. So it was like, it all started as like this little glimmer of hope when I was not doing well. And now that I'm healthy and happy, it's like, it's hard to almost, it's like, it feels like yesterday and it feels like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but that's a huge like leap between thinking that you could do that thing and then, I mean, obviously being like a business owner now and also like a brick and mortar store owner. Did you know that you were going to be able to do that? I mean, because you've also started telling us about what you taught yourself, but
yeah.
Were you just kind of like taking a leap when you started it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I said, my family is a bunch of nerds, but what's funny is that no one in my family, parents, grandparents, ever had to instill in me like a drive to do anything. It was just like self-motivation, like pathological self-motivation.
And this is why we're friends now.
Yes. So it's just, I just knew, I was like, I've set my mind to it, that's it. I've just been like that my whole life, where it's like, okay, I've decided I'm going to do this thing. And then I might be like, well, what do you, and then I just tell that little voice, I'm like, go away. And then I just work at it.
Now I just want to have like a bunch of entrepreneur chat with you. We will talk more about product. Like, okay, so you decide, here's the thing that I want to do. Mm-hmm. You're doing all of the research around how you're going to make these products. What happens next?
So I start formulating and iterating and sending out samples to friends and family.
Okay.
The very first guinea pig is always me. And then after that, me and then my husband, because he ain't got no choice. And then like my mom and my sister and like my friends from college and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like sending packages everywhere and being like, tell me what you think. And that started evolving and I started kind of being able to nail things. And then once I mastered like the foundations of formulating, especially when it comes to more complex things like emulsions, then the iterative process for other products became easier just because it was like, oh, this has become like second nature to me. And then when that was wrapping up, then I started working with like a branding consultant and started working on the logo. And I came up with the name because, so the word bright is a two thing, right? There's a spiritual, like everyone has a light. So it's like, I'm a little bit hippie, but I'm also bright, meaning like book smart. So it's supposed to have a dual meaning. And then body, because it's for your whole body, your hair, your skin, your whole body. So that's where that came from.
What's the first product that you do like you nailed?
So my personal favorite product and the first product that I nailed, I call it my firstborn baby, is the flaxseed and oat protein curly hair gel. So it's good for like if you're in 3A to 3C. Okay. And then if you have wavier hair, it doesn't make as much sense. It basically gives you like definition, and the definition of a gel, but the softness of a cream. So if you have like hair in the 4s, you already have definition. You don't need like that. But for people kind of in my like curl patterns, I have some, ringlets and then some waves.
Can I tell you what I started that particular gel for? It was because at first, I don't know so like when you sent me products, I was just like, I'm going all in. I'm going to try all the things. Yeah. I did the directions because what I love is that when you get anything from you, it comes with like the full little layout of like what to use first and where to put it. I was like, thank you, Gabi. That's exactly But I think I started using, first of all, my curls are like super coily. My hair is like extra highly textured. Like we all see that, right? And I started trying to use, thinking that I was going to kind of do like a wash and go or something. First of all, I don't ever do a wash and go, so I don't know why I tried that. But it is like my favorite thing to mix with the moisturizing one that I can't remember because I don't have it with me right now. But I use it.
Locking curl spray.
Yes, I mix it together. And I use it on my twist outs, and it's really fantastic. First of all, get all the comments. I love when people now are like, oh my gosh, like your hair makes me want to like, I don't know, whatever it is, like grow my hair out this. And I'm like, you don't, but okay. But first of all, you never saw my hair before, right? Because I never had these products. I never wanted to do it. I never did anything like outside of wearing my hair scarf. But that and that sea salt texturizing spray, which I'm like looking at because I love it.
She's got it like whipped up.
Texturizing spray. Oh my gosh, which I'm just saying, right? Like the sea salt texturizing spray, which I would never have been like, oh, you know what I need to make my hair bigger and better? Sea salt. But it's literally just distilled water, Epsom salt. I'm not going to tell all your things, right? But it's everything that, like, I mean, I guess it's on the website also, but it's
of course.
Like, Himalayan salt. I'm like, who knew that that's what I needed for my hair given day.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I'm obsessed with the products, obviously. But so we talked about like where you were as a person when you first started this. And your business is obviously expanding and changing every day, but has it changed you as a person?
Oh yeah. I can't even like count all of the ways. I mean, just first of all, there's all of the skills that you learn, like the hard skills in terms of like managing just everything, taxes and strategy and marketing and branding. And I mean, that's staffing and scheduling and managing and mentoring and so many things. And then on a more spiritual level, it just continues teaching me and reminding me that like true control, this idea of true control is an illusion.
Yes.
And I can definitely, that doesn't mean that I don't put in the work, but the thing in yoga, I forget which sutra it is, but it's in Sanskrit, it's abhyasa vairagya, which means practice and like non-attachment, or effort and like surrender, basically. So it's intense to like put forth so much of your passion and your drive into something that you care so deeply about, and then hope that it all turns out. And like, as I've been in business longer, I've gotten clearer and clearer anytime I release something new, or just anytime I work on something enough, like I just get clearer and clearer and more laser focused about how I like the approach. And that's what I've learned, is that approach is really important, and getting your mind right is important.
Yeah, I think the approach, I deeply resonate with that. Obviously your intention behind it. And that kind of like really coming to it, like doing your best in it, right? And still approaching non-attachment has been one of my own biggest lessons, right? Because I feel like if folks knew me before you and I started knowing each other, they've seen my own business go through like so many iterations, like literally just doing like branding and marketing, or working with small businesses, and then working with bigger businesses, and then like deciding like, are we just gonna do content, like moving into like actually doing more events, right? And it's more about like trying to kind of be receptive to both what the audience wants, but also what I feel personally moved by. And so I want a similar thing for you, because I've noticed, I mean, even in the short time, like your business has actually changed, because there was only a website before. So is that similar for you, or how does that work?
So is that what again? Is that what for me?
Is that a similar kind of like process for you? Like both being moved by your public, but like yourself, like what you're drawn to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an interesting balance. But I know that, for example, when someone's like, well, how do you think of a new product to release? Or how did I like come up with this shop? And so I'll answer those in order. But like when it comes to new products, it always has to start off with something that like I would use.
Yeah.
And it has to come from an approach that is unique to me. So like, you know, I have facial oils. I did not invent the concept of a facial oil. However, my approach was to, yeah, it was not me.
I feel like it was you.
My approach was to formulate a trio of Ayurvedic facial oils, because I've done my 200 and my 500 hour yoga teacher training, and then I did my foundational Ayurveda training as well. I have like more certification. I like collect certifications. That's the problem. But that's how I formulated that product. I was like, I really want to take, a twist on something that has been done and kind of turn that on its head and use some more Ayurvedic herbal principles. But so it has to be something that I would personally love, that has a unique approach that feels like genuine to me and how the business. But it also, I obviously look at what else is on the market and does it make sense? Is there a demand for this? Like, do people know what this is?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like the big leap to the shop, which happened in October, so we opened the shop, which is where I am now, on the second birthday of Bright Body, October 1st. And that literally happened in a very crazy way. So I started off in April in just a production space. My goal, 5 to 10 year goal, was to have a shop. Mm-hmm. And then the management was horrible. It was like, girl, why do you need a package delivered? I'm like, what? It was just like, and I'm like, hey, can I get a fob thing, like a fob key fob for my employees to come and help me? And they're like, no. Why would you need that? I'm like, what? Or it was like, hey, how can we handle trash pickup? They're like, trash pickup. So it was a disaster.
Basic things that you need to run your business.
Yeah, basically. And they were tired of me asking for things that seemed logical. So they basically said, you can leave early with no penalty. And I was like, well, that's great, but where am I going to find a space? And the very first person that I hired, like on a regular part-time basis, Lindsay, she's my angel. Hi, Lindsay. I don't think she's watching, but I just have to shout her out. I have 2 other wonderful staff too, Tondi and Spruce. Hi, you too. But Lindsay was friends with the previous tenant of this space. Mm-hmm. And her name is Camille, also my guardian angel. I call her just like my fairy godmother. And so Lindsay and Camille were talking one day. Lindsay was telling her about all the bullshit happening with the space and how it's hard because we need a sink and yada yada. And Camille's just there like, well, I have the perfect space. And that's literally what happened. And then there was some crazy things where the space, I almost like missed out on it a couple times, and then it landed, and it was a roller coaster of several weeks. But it was already something I had been telling people. I was like, my goal is to open a shop that has my stuff and like curated clean makeup and curated clean sunscreen and eco-friendly goods and other locally made goods that I don't make, but people always ask me about, like bar soap and bath bombs and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it out loud and like in emails. And then it just like literally fell in my lap. So then, financing and getting loans, and that was that.
Okay, I talked over that part. Sorry, I was like, without financing and any loans is like a super important part to know. And I'm asking, how long had you been saying it? Was it like before you started Bright Body, or like just since you launched the website?
I think it's a good question. I think I had been saying it starting probably after about a year into Bright Body. So October 1st, 2018 is when I kind of started saying it out loud. And then we opened it a year later.
Okay.
Wild.
So, I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but
uh-oh.
So I picked like my favorite product because I know we're going to do a giveaway, and I think folks will like products. But I also feel like, not everybody. So I think that I am like a naturally curious person who's going to go and read all the things and like whatever, right? So I was wondering if you could talk them through some of my favorite products just to let them know what it does, right? Okay, so the thing I talk about all the time that I hope you never stop making, because I'm going to use them until I die.
I want it.
With this hydrating gel, and I'm in love with the eye elixir. And I will say that as an entrepreneur and also I was in a PhD program. I'm in grad school now, right? I've never not had bags under my eyes. So this, I didn't believe that it was going to do anything. And what I'm telling you is it was like super duper dark. Like and I never have on like makeup. So you can always tell. Can you tell them what the hydrating gel and the eye elixir does? But starting with the eye elixir.
Yes. So those are two of my more recent product babies, and I'm very proud of them because they both contain one of my favorite ingredients, which is hyaluronic acid. And it is what's called a humectant. It binds and holds water at skin surface. Humectant. So hyaluronic acid holds 1,000 times its weight in water at skin surface. So like he's a big boy, and it's pretty powerful. And then the eye elixir is kind of like half oil ingredients and then half like water-based ingredients. So it's a mix of both. And that means that it's like extra rich and creamy. So you really need like the teeny tiniest amount for your entire under eye area. And that's true with all of our products.
I want to tell you that so with both of them, because I do use them in the order that you tell us to. But the way that I knew that it was working, one, I live in North Carolina, right? And I started using the product in the summer. Mm-hmm. So I was like obviously putting too much on at first, but
everyone knows.
Going out, right, with the hydrating gel, with the oil, with the eye elixir, and I would tell Holly, like, I feel like my face is like wet, like sweating, like I felt like, but I wasn't sweating, right? Because everybody was like, "Oh, you look amazing." I was like, I know. But it was like I could feel lit. I had never felt with like, I mean, you know, I'm sure you can imagine I've gone through all kinds of like moisturizing products. Never.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what you're doing
with
that. I love it and I'm amazed by it. Can we talk about this precious Ayurvedic facial oil? Because this is also part of how I keep the full situation.
Keep the bug.
Yeah. I'm like, here's my moisture.
Madonna. Yeah, there's 3, one for each of the doshas or each of the types in Ayurveda, and every ingredient is designed to balance that specific dosha. So every herbal ingredient in there is has that proper energetics for that dosha. So I studied Ayurveda, and then I refer to like my little like my Bible of Ayurvedic herbs. It's called the Yoga of Herbs. And it's very geeky and enjoyable. Highly recommend.
Gonna order it.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. David Frawley, the Yoga. Highly recommend. Totally unrelated, but here we are. And so that's how the Ayurvedic facial oils came to be. Is I just literally was like, okay, well, I'm gonna look at this, and then I proportions of each depended on many factors, but they all have 5 base oils, 1 extract, and 4 essential oils. Yeah.
I want you to know that I have never not had oily skin in my life. I have never not had a breakout in my life, right? I've at least, well, now I'll have like what looks like an almost breakout going to start, and I guarantee you it's literally only the days that I don't use your products. But I am so convinced that this oil is like the best thing ever, because literally I hydrate, I moisturize, but I just like I'm like glowing, as opposed to like this is which is still like, you know, I'm shiny about how much it's gonna get. But when I tell you that like in life I used to be like, okay, all right, at midday. And I don't even need to know the science of it, because really all of it is like vanity for me. It's just like
that's relatable.
But I want to say like thank you. I do.
You're welcome.
Yes. We talked to them about the sea salt texturizing spray, but this is the post-wash herbal lemon rinse. Maybe I use this more than I'm supposed to. It does say that I can, well, I don't know, on the little sheet you gave me, it said that I can use it like more than once a week. But can you tell them about that? Important.
Yes. So I might have to run and get my charger real quick because my phone is nearing the end of his, he's just old in general. And he's like an old dog that just needs a little giddy up in the morning, but he just runs out of battery very rapidly at the end of his life. So let me get my charger really quick. Okay, hold on.
Anyways, for folks who just joined, obviously I'm chatting with Gabi from At My Bright Body, but she is literally the person that transformed my skin. And we're doing a giveaway because I want folks to know about her amazing product. I want folks to, yeah, it's true, there's Gabi, about all the amazing things that she did, right? But we were like, oh, people ask me questions in my DMs. This seems like this way to let Gabi speak for herself. I asked.
Okay, we're good. We're charging. All right, we're back. Okay. So you asked me, what did you just ask me? And the rinse. So the rinse is basically the best product for hair and scalp health that you've never heard of.
Yes.
Yes. That's I love that.
So you gotta
so basically the magic of like your skin and hair can heal themselves if given the proper conditions, right? And one of the biggest conditions that we often screw up either through diet or products that we're using is pH. And pH, like your hair and your scalp are actually acidic. Like the acid mantle is what is performing your barrier function, like what makes your skin a skin. Yeah. And if your acid mantle is off, you can have issues with dandruff, dryness, flaking, inflammation, stuff like eczema, psoriasis on your scalp. And then that affects hair health because your scalp not with this, no.
Because that was all before. Like literally, like my scalp would be like tender, like inflamed.
Oh.
And I'm saying all of this because like I've been obsessed with like natural products for a while, right? So it's not like I'm using trash product. It's just that it wasn't this.
Right. Oh, my heart.
Sorry.
So it's basically, it's a souped up version of an apple cider vinegar rinse. It's a jelly-like texture. And it starts with 3 fresh herbs boiled and steeped for an hour. And then I add equal parts lemon juice and apple cider vinegar. So it doesn't smell as like potent as one that you would make at home. And then also it's nice that it's in like a goo rather than just like sitting there and, you know, doing a little index finger workout and trying to spray your entire head. So you just use the pump and you get some like kind of jelly like stuff. And then you basically use it. It's the most flexible wash product we have because if you're not ready to switch your shampoo or conditioner yet, you can just add that in at the end of your routine. Or like say you did a full wash day yesterday, but today your workout was kind of sweaty and you feel gross. You could do that by itself while you're in the shower. You can do it after just conditioner, just shampoo and conditioner. So it's very flexible and it's puppies.
Told you.
I got so excited.
They make their debut. It's not even a debut. They make their cameos like it's, you don't know how many times we go through this a day, right? However many.
Oh, I understand. My dogs are the same. That's why I'm doing this here in the shop.
Okay. What they're responding to is our neighbors coming home, as they do every night. Every night.
Yeah.
Directly beside us.
Sounds like what my dogs do.
Yeah. Okay. This is the last thing I'll make you explain because I do have a couple. So I'm sharing the facial exfoliant because I'm just like obsessed with it. And I'm not it because even Holly tries to steal it from me, which is how I've gone through so much of it very quickly. And let me tell you, Holly saw that Bright Body box come through and she was like, oh, our products are here.
You were like, excuse me, ours? No.
This is a giveaway. Like, but can you talk us through the
she just commented with a little eye. Sorry, Holly, we're roasting you a bit. It's great.
Yes, because it's true. So upset when the products get low. She's like, have you talked to Gabi? And I'm like, that's not how this works. But one of our favorite products is the facial exfoliant though. And I feel like so if Holly was on this live, she would say like she would let everyone know that I deeply believe, because from my esthetician in Philadelphia, like believe in exfoliating skin. And just as much as I believe in hydration, right? Mm-hmm. But one is just better than all the other ones that I use. So can you talk us through why it is? Look at Holly.
She's just trolling. Oh, that's kind of great. It's my favorite. My husband also like loves to troll my posts, except now instead of directly posting on them, he'll DM me as if he's like just somebody else, like with a comment. I'm like, get out of here with that stuff.
You're like, I'm busy trying to be an entrepreneur, okay?
Yeah, I'm like, can you calm down? But yeah, so the facial exfoliant I actually developed in collaboration with my friend who is a master esthetician, and she runs the aesthetics program at like a aesthetic school here in Richmond, and she has her own spa. If you are in Richmond, you need to check out Luna Aesthetics and Spa. It is the only place I will go to, so I don't know how many people you have in Richmond, but it's the dopest, and Chelsea is awesome. So it's a coconut sugar base, so it's fine grain.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to get like just granulated sugar and just rub it on their face. And that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah. So coconut sugar is a lot finer, which means it's going to be gentler. And then it's also got 4 herbal powders in it. So it's got calendula, which is marigold. It's got gotu kola, which my husband loves to call it got you cola. I'm like, cool. I'll be like, look at this ingredient. He probably doesn't even remember that this happened, but he'll be like, what's got you? I'm like, that's wrong. There's, why am I blanking on all the other ingredients? Rose.
I can tell you if you want me to.
Yes, please. There's
so
sea buckthorn fruit powder and calendula, gotu kola, sea buckthorn, coconut sugar, which is different. So real quick caveat, people are like, I thought you don't use coconut oil on your face. Correct. You do not put coconut oil on your face. Do not play yourself like that. It kills me. People are like, they're so proud. They'll come into the store and be like, well, I just use coconut oil. And I'm like, first of all, calm down. Second of all, why are you playing yourself like that? Your pores are really mad at you and you just haven't figured it out yet. But coconut sugar is different. So what makes coconut oil comedogenic is not present. That compound is not present in the coconut sugar. So I always have to say that because people ask me.
Come on, Parker. Sorry, the dog wants to enter. Give me 1 second. My dog would like to be a part of our life.
Please, I would love that. Oh, you guys. Hi, Gabi. Oh, she's the sweetest.
Come here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to see the dog. I'm very excited about it.
See, this is his process. I said like, could you please come get your son? Right? Parker gets very upset about me being on the phone. And he wants to be held, but he wants to tell you that he wants to be held. And he wants
you have to hear about it first.
Yeah. He's like, but I want to tell you that I didn't want you doing this. This is my life, man. Now we got a real phone. Now people know. It's like, now people know that my dog pumps me in the back of every.
Very relatable.
Okay. I really thank you for walking us through why I love the powder. I did tell you that I was going to let you go. And
I have a couple more minutes. It's okay.
Okay, great. What I do, okay, so these are things because I know that I want folks to like follow you and hear all the things that you love about in life. And like, I could talk to you about entrepreneurship longer and longer, but I really do want to talk about these products since we're going to do this giveaway. Gabi, why should anyone even care about trying Bright Body products? Like, as opposed to some of these like over the counter kind of like all natural products.
So the phrases like all natural or organic or clean or whatever, lots of air quotes. There's no regulation around them. You can say whatever you want. So it's not so much like how it's marketed. You have to look at the integrity of the ingredient list. And that's how I started. That's how I even decided I wanted to start Bright Body. So our products are very different in that literally every single ingredient, whether it's natural, naturally derived, entirely synthetic, whatever class of chemical. And yes, water is a chemical. Let's not be scared of the word chemical. But anyway, every ingredient in our products has the safest rating by the Environmental Working Group. Everything is a 1 from a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
So you just can't find that anywhere else. And then you're going to have less fuss and more results in a concentrated formula. So in general, most conventional things, even natural things that are mass produced, have a ton of fillers. And here at Bright Body, we believe, fuck a filler. So that's the way it is.
I like that. I think it matters. I don't think I recognized that there would be as big a change, or like as that it would have that much of an effect on my skin until after using it. I remember even with the shampoo, I was like, hey, my hair's super thick. Can I use more? You were like, give it some time.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's
yes,
true. Our hair, our skin, it just gets used to all the like nonsense that I think you should be used to, that we're not even like thinking about or in the products. And then the moment you give it something else, literally my hair was like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever received. Like, it took a couple weeks, but then it's like, yes, we're in this.
Yeah, it's basically like reteaching and feeding your hair and skin to nourish it on a cellular level. So it's not just like a bunch of fluff.
Yeah. Okay, but you have a lot of products now. You don't just have like one good product. So let's say I'm not me. I'm not going to hunt down all the products on the site and read through all the things. How do I know where to start? Or like, what do I begin with? I'm thinking about switching up or trying it.
So in general, like if you're looking, I would say skincare or body care is kind of the easiest place to start. I know that hair care can be intimidating and kind of scary going sulfate-free and silicone-free. I do recommend it. Your hair is going to be happier and healthier and shinier in the long term. But I totally understand that it's a mindfuck to like jump to non-sudsing shampoo right away. So styling products for hair, if you're like, I want to try a hair product first, try styling products. So something like the salt spray or the moisture locking curl spray. And then for body, if you want to try a body product, the one's conventional products that tend to be the most toxic is deodorant, right? Because it has the antiperspirant in it, and that's just, you know, one-way ticket to cancer town. So, deodorant. I know, it's a whole thing. And that's an exaggeration. I'm just making a joke. But in general, switching deodorants, and this is the season to do it when like you're not sweating as much, so the detox process is not as intense. There is a detox process, but I always recommend switching deodorant. Switching deodorant is smart. And then when it comes to skincare, I think your two favorite products are probably the easiest places to start, the hydrating gel and the eye elixir, because no matter your skin type, 80% of people have dehydrated skin. So even if you have oily skin, that doesn't mean, that refers to moisture. Oil. Yes. Dehydration refers to water content. So most people have not the water content that they need, is too low in their skin. So they're dehydrated skin. So hydrating gel is great. Everyone, if you do not have under eye bags or darkness, get out. Who doesn't have that? So it's like eye elixir is just generally easy and a good thing to start with. And oh no, Kholi froze. Now she's back. Okay. She's here. So hydrating gel, eye elixir, and then another product. So I'm literally releasing a new product on Saturday. That is our most advanced, most multi-purpose, most universal skincare product. It's called the Illuminating Tonic. It is it's like, I'm just so excited about it. So it's called the Illuminating Tonic, and I call it an exfoliating glow serum for all skin types. So it smooths, it fights acne, it like plumps fine lines and wrinkles. It is anti-inflammatory. It has so many purposes. And the active ingredients are good for all skin types, even people with like super sensitive skin. So that is another good place to start. I would say for skincare, hydrating gel, eye elixir, or the Illuminating Tonic. Hair, start with styling, and body, start with the deodorant. Oh no, now I can't hear my Kholi. I can read lips though. She said, I don't know what happened. She's gonna figure it out. She's adorable when she's trying to figure things out. I can't hear you, but I can read your lips. Hold on. That's so weird because it froze and then we like somehow lost the sound. Can you hear me? We're back. No. No. Why can't I hear you? This is so weird. Technology, the joys of technology. You're like, our lives are so much better, and then it's not. Are you getting Holly in here to do some IT? Okay.
I'll record your screen like I do Shirley's, what you call it.
Okay.
She asked if Holly's coming.
That is what happened.
We did.
Technology tried to take us out.
Hell no.
I want you to know is that we are people.
That's right.
Not be taken out.
No.
I
Never say never. I learned that from Justin Bieber.
It didn't get the vote that we are like completely self-motivated. Anyways,
Yeah.
I could hear. Okay, so what happened is that I could hear you finishing all of your answers, and then my sound just like went away. But
Now we're back.
yes, I appreciated you breaking down for us all the things about where we start and how we start with the products. Okay, now I am a person who is obviously not me, and I want to try Bright Body products. I am someone watching this or someone who will watch this later. What do I do to try these products? Or where do I go?
Go to mybrightbody.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at mybrightbody, and the link in our profile is to our website. It might be like updated on Saturday. It'll be on the 18th of January. It'll be updated to be the link directly to the new product. But other than that, like, it'll take you to the site. And what's nice is that it has all the Bright Body products, and then everything else that we stock in the shop is also online. So makeup, sunscreen, eco-friendly goods. So like even like stuff I don't make, like bar soap, bath bombs, candles even. So
Okay.
things, yeah, there's many things on there, but if you're looking for Bright Body products, going online is the way to go. mybrightbody.com. And hi, puppy.
And Tallulah wants you all to know that if you want to body.com, if you want to, before we do the giveaway, you can use code Kholi to get what is our discount? I'm sorry, Tallulah's like, I don't know the discount. 10% off all the Bright Body products.
Yes.
Not include all of the other wonderful products from all these other merchants and entrepreneurs, because we want them all of their funds. But you can try to get Bright Body products and use the discount code, and you don't have to wait for the giveaway, because maybe you're like moved and you're trying to go get this eye elixir like right now. You don't need to go another day without this eye elixir. Or the
I love this. Is he a rat terrier mix?
Oh my gosh. This is Tallulah at Young Lules on Instagram if you want to follow her. She is a Chiweenie, which is a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. She's like, I'm over your little Instagram.
I love it. I love it. If I were home, my dogs would be doing the same thing. So, hi, Adrian. My friend Adrian is here.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, our conversation has been taken over by dogs.
By the dog. Oh wait, I forgot one thing. If you're in Richmond, we have
I was just hey, what do you want us to know? Can we go? Wait, can we see? I'm like,
okay. Let me do like a little tour. I feel very much like am I a YouTuber now? I don't know. So this is where we literally make all of the Bright Body products in store. So a lot of people, they're like, okay, but where do you make them? And I'm like, right there. And then they go, no, but where do you make them? And I go, no, really, right there. So we have like little burners and pots, and we do like the double boiler method. So we put a big ass steel bowl on top, and then you see backstock and like empty bottles and things like that. And then where I was just sitting is the makeup nook. There's the tripod I was using.
Oh,
Plug myself. So you can try out all the makeups. And we have, let me close this door so you don't get to see my horrendously messy office. I usually am not a messy person. Eco-friendly goods, including from my friend Adrian of Beagle Handmade, who's joined us. I'm so tickled. And then Adrian, we have makeup and sunscreen.
Young tech gods.
Yeah. So shade range is really important to me. So we have full ash shade range.
I love it. Look at this. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
I'm makeup before, right? When you started looking for these? Okay.
Yeah. So it was learning a whole other thing. And then up in the front area, like when you first walk in, this is where our local goods are. So everything in this front area is a local good except the Cece's Closet hair wraps from New York. But everything else here is all from Richmond, from people who I'm lucky to call my friends and fellow makers, and it's wonderful. So it's like a space that celebrates local and eco-friendly beauty. And then the one thing I forgot to mention about Bright Body that might just put you over the edge is that we have a refill rebate program. So we like the earth here, and so products are packaged in aluminum or glass. The one that's not is the deodorant. It's in a compostable cardboard container. You just take the label off. But so say you're like, well, I'm not in Richmond, how can I get a refill? It's more of like a box deposit. So when you go and you order your goodie again, so you order it the first time, you get it, you love it, you use it. When you run low, you're like, all right, I need to order again. You go online and the website will ask you if you have an empty to return. So if you do, you say yes. And then when I get that little message that you have an empty to return, then I make a prepaid shipping label and include it in the shipment with the new product. You swap out, and then we sanitize and reuse everything by hand. And it involves making our own like hippie version of Goo Gone and getting all the label goo off and everything, and sanitizing with boiling water, all that good stuff. So we reuse lots and lots of containers. And then with the deodorant, again, you just take the label off, recycle it, or compost it. Yeah.
Gabi, you literally made my day. I can't. I'll background chanting, "You're the best."
Oh.
Can't wait for everyone else to find out how amazing your products are and just deeply believe in them so they can all be spokespersons, and then I don't have to be like, guys, I'm trying to tell you, Gabi's going to change your life. We'll talk so much. I mean, this would be the point in the live where, like, if we were on YouTube, you would see like images of my hair before I started using it, or my, which I don't know why people don't act like they don't. Oh, because I was using filters before, you know. My face before had the filters, but now there's never filters. This is like the before and after shot. Like, you too can be here. You are absolutely amazing. I love your heart. I love all of the spirit that you put into these products, which matters so much more because you're literally the person making them. And I can
Lindsay and Chandi and Spruce now, so it's nice to have help.
Okay.
Have them too.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the only full-time person. Let's don't worry. I don't have everyone here on payroll. Like, it's hard as a small business owner. Don't get it twisted. I don't pay myself yet, but I do have help, and I don't want to undervalue or forget to mention them because they're wonderful, and I want them to know how much I appreciate them.
I appreciate that. You are giving all of us as small business owners all of the joy, all of the inspiration, and I want to thank you. And I'm going to set you off free into your night before Parker starts yelling at us again.
Okay. Well, thank you. It was such a pleasure. And if any of y'all watch this and have any lingering questions or need like a product recommendation, you can just send me a DM on my Bright Body. Sometimes it's a tongue twister, depending on how tired I am. I'm happy to help. So thank you. I appreciate you setting this up.